Hey guys, we are in Aransas Pass, Texas. Aransas Pass is on the coastal border of Texas, and it was founded in 1909 by promotion of a great land lottery. It developed as a fishing village, and the first shipment of shrimp to San Antonio was in 1912. At this time, it was the home port for about 300 large shrimp trawlers, which annually netted millions of pounds of shrimp. Today, Aransas Pass is a perfect retirement paradise because there's plenty of recreational activities to take advantage of. They have birding, boating, duck hunting, fishing, kayaking. If you're wondering where Aransas Pass is, it's located about 18 miles from Corpus Christi and about 12 miles from Rockport. And it's about 2 or 3 hour drive to San Antonio or Houston. Now the cemetery we're at today is Prairie View Cemetery. A rather large cemetery, as I hope to be able to show you this afternoon. There's over 5,000 burials here. The oldest marker in this cemetery is a marker of Martha T. Mosley Spears. And we're going to walk up to her grave location, and we will talk about it when we get there. This cemetery is fairly well maintained, I'd say. They do have an association that looks after the care of it. And that's always a good thing. You hate to see cemeteries that are not maintained, but this one does not have that problem. This is a well-maintained cemetery. So we're walking over here to the site of the marker for Martha Spears. And there's an interesting story about this marker. I hope you can see that. This stone has a heart in the middle of it, and inscribed in the heart is the word mother. Now there's a story that this is the burial site of Leonard Spears' first wife, Martha Mosley. But they say that cannot be true because Martha died about 1873, and Edward Spears settled in Aransas Pass several decades later. He would have had to have Martha disinterred and moved, which is, most unlikely back in those times. Martha is probably buried in the Griffin Cemetery in Lone Pine, Louisiana. But I don't know, I guess it's possible that her grave site might have an unmarked grave, and the actual location of it may not be known. And perhaps they just set this stone here as a memorial to her life. But it's also possible that maybe she is actually buried here. But it makes a good story. And maybe the Spears family is the only ones who can really answer that question. If anybody knows for sure, I would appreciate it if you would leave a comment. Leave me a message in the comment section. Tell us what you know about the Spears family. And is it possible that Martha is actually buried here in this Spears family plot? This is a very nice plot. Oh, in memory of, I guess that's probably Staff Sergeant Walter A. Spears, lost at sea in June 1944. Wow. Some more of the Spears family. Somebody driving by sharing their music with us. Here's another one that served in the service. Private Edward H. Spears. We certainly want to say thank you, gentlemen, for your service. You know, you'll see in these cemeteries, a lot of them will have these concrete borders. And of course, that's the way they marked the location of the family plot. They put the concrete border around the boundary of the family plot. That's just something they did back in the day. I don't know if people are still doing that nowadays or not. And not only that, you know, once upon a time, they would purchase family plots because, well, they had large families back then. Nowadays, it seems like that doesn't happen as often. Nowadays, children grow up, get married, move out, start their own families, a lot of times in a different location. Which is just part of life, guys. That's just part of the circle of life. Well, guys, if Martha Spears is not buried in this cemetery, then what is the oldest grave that is in this cemetery? Well, we're going to walk up here and look at the headstone of the oldest grave in the cemetery, and that is of John Yates Vineyard. And his marker is right here. John Yates Vineyard. Now, he was only 17 years old when he passed away. He was training a horse. His family had, apparently raised horses, and he was training a horse, I believe to be a cutting horse. And if you've ever watched the Yellowstone series, well, you know what cutting horses are. If for no other reason, that'll help tell you what they are. Well, anyway, while he was training the horse stumbled and fell, rolling over John. He passed away 3 days later, and like I said, he was only 17 years old. Rest in peace, John. Rest in peace. Guys, there is actually a former lieutenant governor of Texas who was laid to rest in this cemetery. Thomas Benton Wheeler. He was born June the 7th, 1840 in Marshall County, Alabama. And he passed away February 21st, 1913 at 72 years of age. Passed away in San Antonio. He was the son of William Henry Edward and Mary Magruder Barton Wheeler. His father died in 1846. His widowed mother moved the family to Hays County, Texas in 1854. Now, Thomas decided to become a lawyer, studied, took the bar exam, was admitted to the bar in 1867. In 1872, he was elected mayor of Austin, and he served as mayor until 1877. In 1880, he was elected district judge of the 12th Judicial District and re-elected again in 1884 for the same position. He was elected lieutenant governor of Texas, and he served also as governor of Texas. In 1889, he began making plans for a deep water harbor in the waters of Aransas and Redfish Bays. The town of Manor is where he settled. And let's see, what else can I tell you about this interesting fellow? Like I said, he died in San Antonio, but he was buried here in Aransas Pass at the Prairie View Cemetery. Now, what's disheartening about this is the fact, well, a couple of things. One, it took me a couple hours to find his grave out here. And the reason it took so long is because his graves, his headstones, are laying face down on the ground. They have fallen off of their base. It's his headstone and his wife's headstone, and they are laying on the ground. Now you would think, first of all, let me say this. I hate to see anybody's headstone laying on the ground. It doesn't sit well with me. I hate that. But being a former lieutenant governor, you would think his headstone would be placed back on the base where it belongs, along with his wife's. I've talked to the people at the Cemetery Association, and I got the same answer that I always get, no matter which cemetery it is. The liability issue prevents the association from having these headstones set up and repaired. That has to be taken care of by a family member. Well, I don't know about in this case, but in a lot of cases, the family members have passed on. There is no family member to take care of the problem. So I'm looking into whether or not, since he is a former lieutenant governor, I'm looking into whether or not the state of Texas will pay to have these headstones repaired. And if not, maybe the county or perhaps the historical society in this area, maybe they will have them repaired. But someone certainly needs to have those stones put back up on the base. Here's another headstone that's laying on the ground. It's fallen off its base. Now, I don't know. I talked to a monument guy. He was out here a little earlier fixing another headstone. I talked to him about repairing these headstones, and he said when Hurricane Harvey came through here, which was back in 2017, when Harvey came through, it did damage to a lot of the headstones in this cemetery. So I don't know if that's what's happened to these or if it's simply vandalism. But either way, you hate to see headstones on the ground. You just hate to see that. So hopefully, Lieutenant Governor Wheeler, hopefully we can get your headstone repaired, you and your wife's, and get them back on the base where they belong. Let's hope we can do that. By the way, guys, if you happen to know of an organization that helps repair headstones in cemeteries like this one, be sure and let me know in the comment section. You may be very well aware of an organization that would set Lieutenant Governor Wheeler's headstone back on its pedestal. If you do, like I said, please put that in the comment section. Now guys, there is a cemetery tree. Look up a definition of a cemetery tree and you'll probably see this one in the dictionary. Nice old tree. So over in Port Aransas, which is just a little ways down the road from here, is a company known as Farley Boat Works. That company started building boats, I believe it was around 1915. And they made boats up until 1975, and they made their boats out of wood. They called them tarpon boats. They were used for tarpon fishing, and they were made out of woods. As a matter of fact, President Theodore Roosevelt actually went fishing and rode in one of those boats. Well, over here in Prairie View Cemetery are some of the Farley family members. They were laid to rest over here. And I'm going to show you their gravesite right now. These are the Farleys, James and Gladys. Now James Albert Farley, he was born September 24th, 1880. He passed away November 17th, 1955. He was 75 years old. He was known locally as the one-armed boat builder. He was part of the boat building family from Florida who came to Port Aransas and Aransas Pass around the turn of the century. He was married first to Madeline Lena Stewart. James Albert Jr. was born in 1910 and died in 1911. His second marriage to Gladys Garner Stewart, he had 2 children, Lucille and Nancy. James Jr., he's buried in the Rockport Cemetery, and he has an unmarked grave. So the Farley family said, you know what, we're going to keep his memory, and we're going to place a memorial marker right here next to James and Gladys. That is really something to appreciate. His memory lives on. So Gladys, her maiden name was Stewart, and located here next to the Farleys is a Stewart plot. And it says beloved father and grandfather. So yeah, James, known as the one-armed boat builder, was laid to rest here next to his beloved wife Gladys, and his memory lives on. Guys, if you ever come to Aransas Pass, I recommend you visit this cemetery. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very well-kept cemetery. A large cemetery, over 5,000 burial sites here. Some beautiful trees. So when you come to these cemeteries, one of the fun things is to look at the works of art that you can find out here. Very nice, very nice. What do you think, guys?
Look at the angel over there.
Very, very nice. But wait till you see these over here. How about that? Very nice artwork at the cemetery. Very, very nice. Nice artwork. So in case you're wondering, the last burial in the 1800s at this cemetery was for a lady named Estelle Louise Perrineau. She was born October the 25th, 1871. She passed away December the 14th, 1898. She was 27 years old. And the first burial in the 1900s was Alice Perrineau Box. Alice Perrineau Box. She was born May 1869. She passed away September 1902 at the age of 33. And guys, we have walked this cemetery and are unable to locate the markers for these graves. So if you happen to be a member of the Perrineau family or the Box family and you know where these graves are located, by all means let me know in the comment section. We talked to the Cemetery Association and they don't have a record of them. They cannot find them in their records, but they are listed on Find a Grave. I believe they said the cemetery was founded in 1904, so apparently these graves that we cannot find are possibly, I guess family of maybe the people who helped donate this property. I don't know. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle, but we usually like puzzles, and I hope you do too. Okay guys, that's going to wrap it up here in Aransas Pass. We certainly hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe button. That would be great. I'll leave you with the words of a good friend of mine who always told me, you can judge a society by the way they treat their dead. Until next time guys, be safe.
Be safe.